again, I'm back with some more thoughts and feelings. And I'm sorry for the delay. I know that these fights happened at least 2 weeks ago now. For some of you, yeah, it'll be 2 weeks by the time this drops. But I wanted to talk about it because I haven't spoken about it yet on the show. And I'm going to briefly touch on, so I apologize, I was on holiday. If you want these content more regularly, ask Mahesh to learn how to edit and to watch MMA, then you will get it. I'm going to briefly touch on the UFC card that happened last weekend, which was Fight Night, Austin Cater versus Emmett. Before I get into the pay-per-view that happened the week before, because this was one of the best cards we've had for finishes in a while. I mean, we had some amazing finishes from Adrian Yanez, who might have had one of the dopest pictures of his whole career when he knocked out Tony Kelly. It was incredible. I'm a big fan of that kid. I think he's got a bright future at 135. I would love to see him fight someone ranked. Just, maybe him versus Jack Tank Shaw would be really good, because I feel like Shaw would take him. Shout out to Jack Shaw from Wales. But no, I love Adrian Yanez, man. I love his fighting style. I love his boxing is always so clean and crisp. He's a dog. He had a really good fight with Davy Grant. Another performance bonus, and he only knocked out Tony Kelly. And yeah, man, Tony Kelly called him a wish Masvidal, and he said, "Nah, fuck that, bro. You can have this 2-piece on the soda." So yeah, shout out to Adrian Yanez. Gregory Rodriguez, a crazy knockout over Julian Marquez. Joaquin Buckley had a doctor stoppage against Albert Derave, I think it was, but he was piecing him up, Buckley, as well. He did really good to stop a few takedowns. We have the Batman himself, Kevin Holland, the Batman of Texas. He's out here stopping thieves, stopping criminals. Yeah, he's doing better he's been better than their fucking police department recently. I mean, he did a great performance against Tim Means, who's a vet. If you know about like fighting, he's a vet, bro. Tim Means is a dog. He's been in some crazy wars. I mean, go watch, I think it was 2019, go watch his fight with Nico Price, man. That shit was flames. Yeah, man. Tim Means is a dog. He got submitted. It was Darce joke after he dropped him. But yeah, great performance from Kevin Holland. And I mean, the main event did not disappoint. I mean, it never was going to disappoint if you have Calvin Kattar and Josh Emmett as the main event, is it? I mean, a hard fought 5 rounds, man. That fight was great. I watched that the morning after when I got back, actually. So I watched it yesterday, and my God, it was serious, man. It was serious. I mean, 145 is one of the craziest divisions in the UFC at the moment. It makes me scared for Arnold Island boy, because I don't know who they're going to put him up against next, but it's going to be dangerous, man. Josh Emmett's really, really good, though. I mean, every time I watched him, he's been great. I mean, he had the Dan Ige fight was close. This fight was also close, but there's a dog in that man, and his wrestling's pretty good too. I've seen him like pick up and slam people before in the past. So yeah, man, Josh Emmett, he's looking like the real deal, especially at 145. He's so strong. Shout out to Calvin Kattar though as well, because he was very, very close. I mean, he's really bounced back against that Max Holloway loss. So yeah, shout out to Calvin, man. Shout out to Josh Emmett. We're going to talk about the pay-per-view that happened 2 weeks ago though. So I'm going to just touch on the main event, the co-main, and the fight before that, because it'll be here all day talking about the rest of it. But shout out to Andre Filio as well. He had a great knockout. I spoke about him in the last pay-per-view video, actually. So shout out to him. He's coming up, man. And Jack Della Maddalena as well, who I think I've seen him fight before, and I was impressed when I've seen him. So yeah, shout out to Jack Della Maddalena, and he had a great performance as well. But we're going to talk about, first of all, we're going to talk about Weili Chang versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. And I mean, when a fight is hyped up that much, it can't disappoint. And especially when it's a rematch of a classic. And these guys, they both followed up with their Hall of Fame fight. It's not been inducted yet, but just might as well do it now. And they put straight from the first round, they put it to the test, crazy first round. Weili scored a huge takedown, controlled Joanna. Joanna got up, landed some clean shots of her own, but the second round, the pace was just there, man. I think Joanna overextended when looking for the right hand, and then Weili countered one of the most beautiful spinning back fists. Oh, it was gorgeous. One of the best knockouts I've ever seen. Probably it's very similar to Molly McCann's at UFC London. But yeah, I've never seen Joanna stop like that. Well, I saw it against Rose, but I think it was just the fashion, the way she crashed out, man. Oh, and Joanna's retired now, and I can't say enough good things about Joanna and J-Tech, man. A proper legend of the sport, a pioneer for female MMA. She was the boogie woman for a long time. She's incredible, man. You know, she's different, man, and I'm very, like, she should be happy of her career because she's had a fantastic career. And fair play to Weili, man. You had the knockout against Rose, came back against Rose, had a really close fight. And then to do that, to get after your first fight with Joanna, which I actually thought Joanna won, to then come back and do that again, to knock her out in that style, man. And Weili looked clean. She was landing the heavier shots. She had the big takedown. So the wrestling with Henry Cejudo is clearly paying off. So yeah, man, that was honestly incredible. And I love to see Weili fight Esparza for the title next. Yeah, so the next fight I'm going to talk about is a bit controversial. So Valentina Shevchenko defeated Talia Santos via split decision. And Shevchenko came into this fight a minus 630 favorite. And basically, if people don't know about those kind of American odds, because I don't have the English odds in front of me, unfortunately, it's not worth putting the bet on her. The return, you'd have to put loads of money on her to win a little bit. So a win for Shevchenko basically seemed to be a sure thing, but Santos came up, man. She dominated on the ground, finding herself on top and just in advantage, like looking for submissions again and again and again in the fight. And I mean, Shevchenko, she clearly had the edge on the feet, picking her opponent apart, but Santos still somehow continuously found a way to get her to the floor. And it was the first time in a very long time that I've seen Valentina Shevchenko desperate, who seemed to need a stoppage to get the win and keep her belt. And she was looking for it until the fifth round, where she secured a takedown and controlled Santos pretty much to the final bell. But it turns out she didn't need a stoppage because she won by split decision. I mean, it was a great showing from Talia Santos, who arguably you could have said she won. It was really close. Like, from going back, I thought it was, I don't know. I think there was one round which was decided. I think it was round 2 or 3, where it was Valentina was piecing up, but Santos had a lot of control time. It was like, what do you score it for? And I mean, I don't think I've seen anyone push Valentina Shevchenko that much since Amanda Nunes. And you can bet that, you know, Talia Santos is going to go back to the drawing board, work on her striking game, and come back even better after experience. And it's really tough to say. I think I might have gave the nod to Shevchenko, but I don't know if that's just the Shevchenko fanboy in me, because she is incredible. Like, the way she mixes up her martial arts, she goes from her striking is so clean and crisp, and then her takedowns and jiu-jitsu game is also clean. You know, she just needs to keep going and see whoever's next. I think for Valentina, I'd you know what? I like to see her rematch Santos sooner rather than later, get a definitive win over Santos, then go up for the 135 belt. I know that because Amanda Nunes and Pena have to rematch. See who's got the belt after that, and then go for them. I think you've got time to go back, beat Talia Santos again, because there's not too many challenges at 125 for Shevchenko. Go back, and then go back to that, beat her, or Santos beat her, and see what happens. Might get a rubber match, but I think that's the move. You got to rematch Santos. You got to show us that you can beat this person definitively. And last but certainly not least, Yuri Prochazka defeated Glover Teixeira. They put on an incredible show, and that's got to go down as one of the greatest title fights in history. It was just an amazing clash of styles. And obviously, Glover had a huge advantage on the ground, and then challenger Yuri had a huge advantage on the feet. And we actually saw Glover win a few striking exchanges. I think he caught Yuri with a left hook at one point, and it was like robbed him. And then Yuri also did a lot better on the ground, I thought. He engaged in positions at times, and I was like, oh, you're confident. It's not 2005 anymore, where the striker won't go to the ground at all. Like, no, Yuri had the confidence, and as Glover did with the striker too. This is a great fight to show your friends and be like, this is what MMA is like. It had a little bit of everything. The striking was fun. The scrambles were weird. The ground and pound was great. The submission attempts were frequent from both men. Teixeira seemed to have gassed Prochazka, beating teeing off him in the feet and getting him to the ground. And yet Prochazka defended, found his opportunity and exploded and got himself in a different position. Quickly locked up a choke with 30 seconds left of the fight. Teixeira was forced to tap, but this fight was incredible, man. Prochazka on the feet, he was piecing Glover up. I don't know how Teixeira took so much damage. It was incredible. Like, Yuri's striking is it's so I'm happy Yuri won because I just love watching him fight. Like, I love his style. Since he's come to the UFC, his fight where he knocked out Ozdemir, his fight against Dominic Reyes was amazing. The spinning elbow knockout, and then to get a submission against Glover Teixeira in the late rounds. And I mean, you could argue it was a Glover mistake in a very close fight. I think Glover was going into the fight winning, maybe 3-2. But yeah, I'm really excited to see Yuri go on, and fair play to Glover. He's 42 years old, still doing this, man. And he didn't look old in the fight. Like, he looked great. He says he wants to keep going, and yeah, this was incredible, man. So shout out to both men, and would not have seen that coming. It was just a classic battle of different styles. But both men showed versatility as well, which is what I'm glad. It shows us how far the sport's come on. It's no longer just style versus style. Everybody has a bit of everything. And I was very impressed with how the other men were willing to dive into each other's realm. But yeah, that's enough thoughts and feelings for today. I will be back soon. Next pay-per-view is, I think, it's International Fight Week. Cannonier versus Adesanya, which I'm looking very, very forward to. In the beginning of July, and then I will be at UFC London Saturday 23rd. I'll probably do a little vlog for you guys. I mean, that's just looking stacked, but I'll probably do a preview show as well because I'm going to be there from the first fight and I'm not going to leave until the last. I'm gonna pick the fights. I'm gonna be like, okay, this is the fight. I go get a beer because I'm not missing anything. I'm trying to see all of it. So yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. Please like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace.